Time for another update. I've been taking Manjaro for just over 8 months now, and in that time I have lost 4.5 stone, and my BMI now is, I think it's like 25.8, so I am not too far off being healthy apparently, and not being still in that overweight category. But that's 8 months, 35 weeks gone. It's quite a long time really, and in that time I think I've achieved what I wanted to do with regards to the weight loss. Initially I started at 17 stone and I wanted to get down to 14 stone, and then that happened quite quickly, and then I thought, oh, let's try and lose a little bit more and a little bit more. And yes, it's been over the past like 3 months or so, it's been pretty slow, but also in that time I've not actively been trying to lose weight. I've been talking about on these videos about how I've been maintaining and sticking at the same dose. So I'm currently on definitely on 12.5 milligrams of Manjaro, and that's got me to under 12.5 stone, which I can't remember when that was. I can't remember when I was 12.5 stone. Probably at uni, and before takeaways and booze and watching daytime TV and all those things kicked in. But I'm in a place now where I feel happy with how much I weigh. I'm not actively trying to lose more, although this week I did lose 1.8 pounds. I'm not quite sure how that happened, because I did have a kebab on what was that, on Saturday night. I went out and played pool with a friend, but I didn't drink or anything. I had a kebab, it was nice, but not as nice as if I had been having a beer. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, but that's where we're at. When I started Manjaro, the guidelines were that you could be on it for 2 years if you were taking it purely for weight loss. I guess, you know, there's people that are taking it for diabetes and other kind of related conditions, and theirs are prescribed through like the NHS and things like that. But for me, who's buying it privately, there was a guideline saying you can be on it for 2 years and then that's it. So I've had that in my mind a little bit. All of that's changed, and now basically you can be on it for as long as you want. And my provider, MedExpress, say you can stay on it as long as your BMI doesn't go below 23.5, and that's where they cut it off. And as I say, I'm kind of at a pretty happy weight now. I don't even know what 23.5 BMI would look like, but that's definitely me probably losing another couple of stone, which would be weird. I don't want that. So I don't think there's a worry about me having to come off it now. There's all discussions about in the future. They're looking at kind of tablet forms for Manjaro and other kind of like GLP-1 drugs. But I've been on this now for 8 months. I've got kind of where I want. I'm in this maintenance where I'm on 12.5 milligrams. I'm not changing it because I'm still not putting weight on. I'm still kind of feeling fullish. I'm eating a nice amount of food basically, and not feeling desperately hungry, although there are times when I do kind of want to do it. So what are my next steps then? So I've been having a little look online about what I can do and what kind of maintenance is, and as I say, I researched maintenance, and that is basically just staying on the same dose continually because you've reached somewhere where you're happy. So I think there's a little bit of confusion, and actually what I probably want to be looking for is tapering. So that is me weaning myself off of Manjaro probably, and that's something that they recommend you doing over a 6-month period, rather than kind of going cold turkey. You know, I'm on 12.5, so maybe next month I'd go down to 10, see how that is, and then go down to 7.5, etc, until you get down to 2.5, and then who knows, if you're still happy, then go down to 0, or just stay on that smaller dose. But it's quite easy to kind of think, oh, let's do that, which I reckon might be tricky. I think my next plan is to go down to 10 milligrams and see how I feel with that. If I go down to 10 and I'm suddenly getting ravenous and hungry, then I probably need to go back up to 12.5 and rethink my strategy for it. Do I want to be on Manjaro forever? No, I don't want to be on it forever. I've also accepted that if there is some kind of medical reason why I should stay on it, such as, you know, those varying insulin levels, which are one of the factors for kind of all the food noise out there, then I would stay on it. But obviously there's lots of implications on that. There's the financial side of things. These, you know, the 12.5 milligram ones cost, you know, nigh on £200 really, which is a lot of money. But also I justified it at the beginning when I first started taking Manjaro, that it's more important to get my health back rather than think about what's in the wallet. But it would be good to kind of stop at some point. Also, there is information out there about how you know, we're not quite sure exactly how long-term use will affect everyone. I'm not too worried about that, considering it's been used for diabetes for quite a long time anyway, but it's always a little consideration in there. And hey, even with, you know, paracetamol and ibuprofen, I don't want to be taking that stuff, you know, week in, week out, because it's quite nice not having to take any medicine or any drugs. So it would be nice to stop, but if I find that I can't, then I'm happy to keep taking it and see what happens in the future. So if I did come off Manjaro, then it would be because I feel like I've been able to control my appetite, and I have been able to change my diet to make myself feel fuller for longer and replicate all those aspects that Manjaro does. Being honest, I don't think I have. I'm eating less, which is great. I'm eating healthy food, but I am having some, you know, some chocolate here and there, or as I said, I had a kebab the other day. And Manjaro, one of the things about the Manjaro is that it does actually help control your blood sugar levels. And what's happened to me previously is I will have a chocolate bar, and then that kind of like causes my blood sugar level to spike, and then I'll crave something different. So that might be, I want to, you know, something savoury, or it will keep saying, yeah, you want something sweet because your body's kind of dropping stuff. And I don't know the whole science behind it. I can just say that the way that I feel when that happens. So if I do come off the drugs, then I need to be in a place where I know that I'm not going to have a chocolate bar and then want to eat more and then spiral out of control, because that was issues before. But hey, we're not there yet. So I think the plan is a little bit more research, but also I think I've got a couple of weeks more left in my 12.5 milligram pen, and then I'm going to order a 10 milligram and see how I am on that. It's worth the risk. I'll give it a go. If not, I'll drop back to the 12.5. If anyone else on here is tapered off, then, you know, I'd appreciate any tips, advice in the comments. So hey, that's it from me, and I'll see you later. Bye.